I had first seen a short clip back in July of 2024 on the Pumped BMX Facebook account. It had originally thought the game I was seeing was fully released as the clip made it seem as such. More on that later. I went to look for it and had seen that it was still in development. I wishlisted the game and decided to contact an email on the game's website to try and get a key to test the game early. I was surprised to actually receive an email back, and after explaining which game I was asking about, I was led to a link to sign up for potential future beta tests. Although it wasn't the instant access to the game I was hoping for, I wasn't surprised, and I went ahead and signed up through the link and played the waiting game. November 20th came around and a new email popped up on my phone about an up-and-coming playtest that I was secured a spot in already since I used the sign up like 5 months earlier. I was to wait for another email for further information. When that email arrived, it was a Steam key for the game and instant access to play test starting that day. Thankfully, I had already joined their Discord and read an update a day prior that announced the playtest was starting the next day. I was stoked. Getting an email was the highlight of my morning, and all that was left was finding out if I could stream it. The developers were allowing us to stream it and post about it on social media, as long as we clarified that it was a pre-alpha playtest. I set up stream, and once I had the Steam key, I downloaded the game and got to it. It came with a few starter challenges, simple common tutorial stuff that is to be expected with most games, especially like these. Typical steps to get you familiar with the basic mechanics that you will use to play the game and continue on with further missions. They were short and sweet, not so boring that you find yourself tapping your foot trying to just get to the gameplay. Especially when it came down to the wall ride the No BMX Science mission, which was reminiscent of missions in classic games such as Tony Hawk and Dave Mirra. Actually, you will find yourself wanting more of these missions. If anyone that was in these playtests is like me, they were actually missing having fun tasks to do. There were plenty of sessions to be had and lines to create, but once you got a taste of fresh mechanics and graphics mixed in with nostalgic callback mechanics and missions from beloved arcade-like games, you start stirring up plenty of want and need for more from anyone with a sense of interest in actual gaming and not purely simulation. Which this game is built for an excellent mix of both. The cartoony graphics and fun atmosphere makes it feel like you're about to do some SSX or some Jet Set Radio style action, but then you start actually playing, and the tricks and physics mostly resemble simulating real-world BMX, similar to how EA Skates put skating games back on the map with their simulation style gameplay. It actually had a huge similarity to Skate, and even though it's a BMX game, I think that was the right call. Skate 1, 2, and 3 were loved and still are to this day, with long lines of people waiting for their next release. The Hall of Meat, huge gaps, skyscraper drops, funny NPCs with random missions or voice lines were all things that allowed us to ease out of the old normal skating experience and into the new physics and trick mechanics it brought to the table during that time. I really think this game is the next BMX game that will have the same type of impact and bring it back around to more players from PC to console. There are other BMX games that have similar mechanics, but they are mostly on PC, with Riders Republic BMX DLC being the best experience for console gamers. This game is just fixing to fill the void and allow people to get great clips and have endless hours of fun. Sometimes super realistic games that focus on making it look like real life have too much time spent in every aspect besides the missions or mechanics, and I think that this cartoony style will help aid in that area while allowing for customization options to remain very vast and interesting, and for missions and gameplay to be unique and wild. I would really like to see spray painting options for certain missions, more wall riding no BMX signs, collecting letters in a line like BMX or pedal, with pedal being similar to the same amount of letters as skate from the Tony Hawk series, massive gaps with funny names or cool stunts like the famous helicopter jump from Thug, secret levels, secret areas, Easter eggs, unlockables, everything they can squeeze in before release that can scratch the nostalgic itch for PS2 era, all while hitting the same nostalgic itch for the fans of controller mechanics and satisfying trick lining from the skate games. If you can't tell already, I am obviously pretty excited about the game, and from the wishes I have, it may seem like my expectations are too high from a simple playtest of a pre-alpha game, but if you had your hands on the controller, you would know yourself that this game is very close to ready for those next steps of polish. Besides a few texture issues because objects were missing backs, or us crazy testers were finding ways out of the map and into new cool areas, which there's going to be a whole video about on that another time, so stick around for that. Some physics tweaks that were needed and trick combinations like long distance slider wall rides. The game felt like it was just done. I really felt like I was playing a save file of a game that was already 100%ed, and I was just enjoying the only thing left to do, which was just explore the map, do insane tricks, and create my own lines. I have played many early access and beta only games the past couple years, and this is the one I find myself actually wanting to come back to and get more out of. And it all makes sense, because if you look back, this game seems to have been in development since like 2021, under what seemed was going to be called Pumped Freestyle BMX, according to the hashtag Pumped Freestyle BMX you can see on this post and future ones, as it was being made by the creator behind Pumped BMX, which I believe has 3 or 4 mobile games currently and a couple on console, until later when it was called Streetdog BMX, as you can see here in this post. I used to love playing skate with friends, finding spots and recording realistic style footage like we were sponsored and making our film parts for the next DVD. Then blowing off steam and doing over the top stunts and breaking all my characters' bones. This game doesn't seem like it's going to be an open world like Skate, where you can start at the top of the city and go to the bottom. NPCs with voice acting aren't a thing, and I have no idea about multiplayer, so yes, my expectations are high, but maybe not as high as you first thought before I explained how great the game already is in its current state. So even if they went another route, like the final game is just mission markers with the text that explains what to do, with different levels, with new missions per level. If they just throw in multiplayer to allow sessions with friends, and a park creator that allows dropping of all available objects in the game to allow players to create things from BMX parks to replicating their favorite street spots in real life, then the game is 100% playable long term. The film editor that's built in with the game will allow the artistic types to go crazy recording themselves and friends if it becomes possible. It's already got amazing user-friendly session marker placement, camera effects, and camera styles. It's not lacking anything necessary other than a native export function and a way to hide the editor HUD for screenshots, which I'm positive will be implemented before release, as it's such an obvious need and want from the current community, and if not changed, will be addressed again by any future players, undoubtedly. I had such a great time with the editor and developed a signature editing style for transitions with what was currently available, but I do hope to see more filters and effects added before the final release. Things like more lenses, colored filters, all standard things you'd find in most free editors on PC or mobile apps. Other than stitching all the clips I made together with another editor, and shortening the beginning and ends from having to use screen capture, again hopefully will be addressed with a native export of footage, I didn't have to add transitions or effects because the editor had plenty to use to do it natively. So adding a way to import footage before or after markers so we can do native stitching would be excellent. Also adding logos or stickers by having some built in, but also a way to grab them from local storage would be awesome in case people wanted to build teams within the game with their friends or strangers that they meet playing, and want to make their own footage based off of their team. The game was a blast, the team in Discord was awesome, and the other players that were interactive and uploaded footage and shared spots relit a fire inside of me that I haven't had since Skate 3. I'm stoked for more and constantly checking the Discord for the next update to see if it's another playtest, cause I just want more. So yeah, that's it, so far. Can't wait, bye!